In 1937, Harold LeMay had a dream. His dream was to be successful. Little did he and his wife Nancy know that soon they would be founders of one of America's largest privately owned collection of classic and vintage automobiles that spans the entire 20th century.
Harold LeMay was a typical American success story. Went off and fought in World War II, came home, didn't know what he wanted to do with himself, got a truck, started hauling trash. And over the years, he built an empire. And as he went around and traveled around and picked things up, he began to pick up cars. And then he fell in love with cars and fell in love with collecting. And it became his dream and his passion that his collection would be held together and that the power of a collection to tell a story would be preserved. And so that's how he began to buy rapidly and developed his own vision to have a museum about America and the car.
The LeMays, together with business leaders in Tacoma, Washington, formed the LeMay Museum as a charitable organization. Harold passed away in 2000, and Nancy LeMay donated the bulk of the LeMay collection to America's Car Museum for public display.
When we set out to create what we call America's Car Museum, we knew that it had to be different than traditional museums. We knew it had to be an interactive environment that people would gather in and celebrate their love affair with a car.
America's Car Museum's vision is to build on LeMay's legacy, with plans on building a car museum like no other, attracting car enthusiasts and non-car enthusiasts alike, and creating a memorable experience, introducing people to the history and culture of the automobile.
Arguably, nothing had more impact on American culture in the 20th century than the automobile, and America's Car Museum is committed to telling that story.
America's Car Museum will be a special place with treasures that represents a specific time and place for many. It will be the only venue where an assemblage of this magnitude visitors can experience anywhere in the world. In fact, the museum will have an impressive collection of cars rivaling the largest in the world, with hundreds of American and foreign-made cars available for display and thousands of automobilia artifacts that date as far back as the turn of the century.
We call the LeMay Museum America's Car Museum, and we do that very deliberately. It's because this collection is about America. It spans a time from 1903 to the present day. When you think of all the great marks of Buick and Pontiac and Ford and Lincoln and all of them, they're there. And Studebaker and Franklin and Pierce Arrow and Duesenberg. So it's this broad, eclectic collection of vehicles.
There are a number of reasons that make America's Car Museum so unique. The museum's plan include a year-round calendar of exhibits, events, and activities that will promote the active use and appreciation of its timeless collection, and to preserve this rare collection of automobiles that encompasses more than a century of automotive history.
America's Car Museum is all about having fun around the automobile and celebrating that. We want people to stay and enjoy the museum. So we've created a number of opportunities to encourage them to do that and to bring people who may or may not be car enthusiasts but need a fun place for their own events. Another key difference is we're going to use the collection. We promote tours and events all around the world, and we get our cars running.
The design features of the museum symbolize America's love affair with the automobile. It will be a place where vast social networks and car enthusiasts from around the world can gather to celebrate and share the museum's vision to encourage people in a dialogue around the automobile and its impact on modern culture and society.
When we began planning for the museum, we did an international search for an architect, and we narrowed it down to a brilliant architect out of Los Angeles by the name of Alan Grant. And he wanted to create something that would capture the essence of America's Car Museum. So as people approach the museum, their first experience is to react to it as, oh, this is different and it's fun and it's cool and I get it, it's a car museum.
Interactive galleries within the museum are designed to give visitors a complete automotive encounter. History, culture, speed, design, and technology are only a few of the many adventures visitors will experience.
The museum will be built in stages, and the first stage will consist of a number of things. First, a show field, I think, is the heart and soul of anything because it allows us to get cars there from enthusiasts to come. And most museums don't have that kind of a facility. When you walk in America's Car Museum, the first thing you'll do is enter a road. And it's a half-a-mile long road that winds through 4 stories of this museum. and all the galleries and experiences and car storage and banquet halls are off of that road. That road's called the AAA Heritage Road, and it gives us the opportunity to tell the story chronologically and in other ways of the history of America and the car. State Farm has built the theater in the round for us, and that will be changing movies. Everything from racing to travel to manufacturing can be presented there. A third exhibit in the first building will be devoted to racing, and we hope to create a racing experience similar to NASCAR, where individuals can get in and race against the computers and race against each other.
The museum will offer a number of galleries with different orientations that describe the way cars have shaped our society and gives visitors a chance to reminisce about their many personal experiences involving the automobile.
It's about history and heritage, and the large number of vehicles that are contained in the LeMay collection will continue with this new museum to evoke personal memories and stories, and that's what this is really all about, exploring that wonderful history of the car in America.
There'll be major galleries on each floor that have cars and changing exhibits of cars. So those can be a display by General Motors on their history, or Chrysler on the Hemi. Around those on each floor are 4 smaller galleries that we're going to devote to culture and technology. We think there'll be great interest in corporations for showing how they made the great advances in safety.
There is a great need in the car enthusiast community for trained individuals to preserve and restore vintage automobiles. A principal element of America's Car Museum's mission is their educational outreach programs. These programs will give students the opportunity to learn automotive maintenance, restoration, and preservation.
There's great concern among enthusiast groups to train young people, and we are working hard to develop plans to create training programs for college-age youth to come in and to learn these skills related to antique automobiles. Quite frankly, the generation that has that knowledge is passing on, getting older.
The museum is going to have a number of different educational programs that will provide worthwhile and interesting experiences for young and old, and hopefully continue to fan the flame of that classic car interest so that they can then repair them, restore them, care for them, and just keep that whole car culture going.
The success of the museum depends greatly on civic and corporate partnerships. Tacoma has been the home of the LeMay family, and it was their desire to create the museum as a gift to the region that they love. The City of Tacoma, State Farm, and AAA recognize the importance of preserving this treasure.
By any measure, the endeavor that we have undertaken to build the world's foremost automobile museum is huge. The cost of building a complex to house 1,000 vehicles, and then to take care of those vehicles, and then to provide educational programs to make it a live and vibrant place which takes its educational mission seriously, all involves a great deal of money. We've had some generous sponsorships from AAA to the tune of $1.6 million, and State Farm $1.5 million, the City of Tacoma giving us $17 million worth of land, annual support from major auto shows like the New York International Auto Show, General Motors, annual contributions to help sustain us. We need more of that, and with our partnerships in the retail complex that we're developing and the theater complex, we project nearly 1.5 million visitors a year to the museum campus. That's a great audience, and we think that makes it an interesting and valuable proposition for even more corporate sponsorship. And we think they'll agree.
America's Car Museum is creating a new paradigm in auto museums, one that embraces Americans' love affair with the automobile, promotes enthusiasm for cars today, and offers services to enthusiasts through the Club Auto program.
One of the ways America's Car Museum will be different than others is really promoting the use of the collection. We make membership a club, so that as a member of America's Car Club in America's Car Museum, there are opportunities for you as an enthusiast to participate with us and enjoy the automobile. Cars are meant to be driven and to be used. And people take great pleasure in seeing these wonderful old cars on the road.
For more information on LeMay America's Car Museum, visit their website at www.lemaymuseum.org.